Well, after a loss last night, the Port Huron Prowlers again looking to salvage a series split, this time against the Watertown Wolves. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. It was a tough one for the Prowlers to swallow last night, a 4-3 loss where an empty net goal turned out to be the game winner. We'll get more into last night's game coming up on the pregame show. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Getting set for puck drop here at McMorran Place between the Prowlers and the Watertown Wolves. The second time these two teams will go at it this weekend, and last night it was a 4-3 victory for the Watertown Wolves. Two teams traded goals in the first period. Elijah Wilson and Matt Stoya getting the tallies for their respective clubs. That 1-1 tie would hold until the third period when Wilson scored again. Parker Moskal added to it on a breakaway goal, made it 3-1 Watertown. Lincoln Gingrich hit the empty net. That seemed to put a bow on this one, but the Prowlers battled back, still up a man with the extra attacker Matt Graham, and Dalton Jay scored twice in the final 30 seconds, but it wouldn't be enough as the Prowlers fall 4-3, and Gingrich's empty net goal turned out to be the game winner. Well, both goaltenders were fantastic last night, both making over 30 saves. We take a look at Adam Wisco, who picked up the victory in his first career professional start. 33 saves on 36 shots for him coming into last night's game. He had made 4 appearances for the Watertown Wolves, but not one of them was a start. Let's take a look at the FPHL standings right now, and everybody else in the Empire Division pulled out a victory in the Continental, pulled out a victory last night. Columbus, Carolina, Motor City, and Mississippi all winning their games, as this weekend is a full cross-division series weekend. The Prowlers, the only Continental Division team without a victory, and that means all 3 teams ahead of them gain points on them, and the Prowlers fall now 7 points back of the Motor City Rockers, who they will see next weekend for the final 2 times. Let's take a look at the Prowlers lineup heading into tonight's game. Well, Torrey McLean has been suspended for tonight's game after his action following the fight with Tim Payne. So he's out of the lineup, and drawing back in Dylan Thackeray, and that's the only change for the Prowlers tonight. Wyatt Hoffman will go for the second straight night. We'll take you down to ice level for the pregame ceremonies here at McMorran Place. apologies for the technical difficulties. Folks, we're working on fixing the camera, but we'll keep the sound on for you. As they announce the starting lineup for the Prowlers, it's going to be Zach Olin, Matt Graham, and Joe Devaney up front. Alex Johnson and Frank Schumacher will be the defense pair, and Wyatt Hoffland back in net for the Prowlers. We'll take the sound downstairs and give it up to Austin Dunn, the PA announcer for the Prowlers, as we get set for tonight's national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, and gentlemen, may we suggest removing your caps as we honor America and salute the men and women serving our country with the singing of our national anthem, sponsored by directly by Mike Batchelor. We remind all members of the armed forces and veterans who are present but not in uniform that you may render the military salute. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a special welcome to Miss Emily Gowdy.
You may have heard some dogs during the anthem. There it is, Pucks and Pups night here at McMorran Place. Plenty of dogs all around the arena tonight. But before we get to the puck drop, or the pup drop as some may call it tonight, so let's take a look at our starting goaltenders for tonight's game. It's going to be Wyatt Hoffland going again for the Prowlers. He made 32 saves in the loss last night for Port Huron on 35 shots against. Owen Liskowitz will be in the other net against him. He was a former Binghamton Black Bear, acquired via trade on December 1st. His last game as a Black Bear was here at McMorran Place the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and the Prowlers able to come away with a victory in that one, 5-3 over the Black Bears. As we mentioned, Matt Graham's line getting the start in tonight's game, and they will go up against the line consisting of Parker Moskal, Chris Corrigan, and Pierre-Luc Bellard. "20 minutes up on the clock. Just as soon as we're about to get underway, they're double checking something. Double checking something over at the scorer's table. And now finally, we are all set to go. It's Brandon Baker sending it up the ice. Olin able to turn it back up for the Prowlers. Payne takes it for Watertown. Frank Schumacher had a couple of assists last night. Leaves it for Olin across to Graham. Couldn't send it on net as Payne got down on a knee to block it. Now comes out for Olin, and a quick shot stopped by Liskowitz. D-to-D pass comes back to Schumacher. He just couldn't keep it in though. Prowlers forced to regroup. 40 seconds into period number 1. Alex Johnson trying to work it out himself, turned it over. Here comes Lord back in. He's turned around, and now Sam Merritt gets it up to Olin. Olin looking for Merritt again. He got a shot on net, and Liskowitz was there hugging the post. Dustin Henning puts it on, deflected and saved by Liskowitz. It's rimmed all the way around and down the ice, so our first icing of the game goes against the Watertown Wolves, just a minute and 13 seconds in. Dustin Henning with that full bubble on his face tonight after taking a high stick last night that split him open on his top lip. Had to get some stitches, but oh, he's tough, Dustin Henning. Right back in the lineup tonight. There he is with the puck, moving it up the boards. It's Stoya. Back to his defense, it's Parsons. Stoya tips it in. Baker first on it for Watertown. Off the glass, knocked down. Carter touched it first, so Parsons gets a quick shot, and it's saved by Liskowitz. And Merritt's pass poked out of the zone. So the Wolves get themselves a change as Brian Parsons holds behind his own net. Up to Gino Mini. He was run into by Brennan Young, number 23. Young sent it back to the point. Baker takes it out of the zone. Not sure if he kept the line or not. Just to keep it safe, he got out. Here's Young. Sent a cross-ice pass that was blocked by Gagnon. Now Mini back up the other way. Mini drops it for Sam Gagnon. He lost the handle. And now the Wolves try to get it out. Adam Hainsel keeps it in at the point. Payne takes it behind the net. And Young off the glass and out. And it's poked to Adam Hainsel with 17:20 to go in the opening period. His pass too far ahead of Sam Gagnon. So icing called against the Prowlers. Just under 3 minutes into period number 1. First defensive zone face-off of the night for the Prowlers. As Moskal sends one wide off the face-off. Shots on goal, 4-0 right now in favor of Port Huron. Prowlers gave up the first goal last night to the Wolves. Trying to get the first one tonight, but it's Moskal with an outside try and a good save by Hofflin hugging the post. Now Olin up the left wing side, enters the zone, cuts to the middle. Tried to slide it down low. There's a full pack of Wolves in front of Liskowitz. They try and get a breakout going. Good forecheck by Devaney to disrupt that. Puck heads behind the net. Graham in there, picks it up ahead of Moskal. Now Devaney with a quick shot, rose it high. Johnson right back down low. It's Graham behind the net. Taken away by McGuire. Schumacher pinches in, keeps it deep. Prowlers keep the attack going. Here's Olin, curling away from pressure in the corner. Tried to come out, but was poked off his stick. Back to Prowler ice. 16 minutes to go, first period. Moskal puts it back at center. Here's Johnson dancing his way in. Alex Johnson with space, looking for Merritt. That pass was partially impeded. Sauced all the way down, and another icing coming against Watertown with 15:43 to go in period number 1. It was a good opportunity for Joe Devaney as he got that pass in the circle, on the face-off circle on the far side, but pass was just not in his wheelhouse, so he had to take an extra second, and the puck was just a little bit ahead of him when he shot it. So didn't get the best shot off that he wanted to from that spot. Trevor Lord pulls up. Fed behind the net to Carter. Now Federley rims it around. Baker kept it in. Back down low towards Carter. Gets through. Scrum on the near side half wall. Comes up to the point. Payne wrists it on. That one goes wide. And then Baker overskated the puck as he was trying to keep it in. So the Prowlers able to get a change going just past 5 minutes into the first period. No score yet as Henning played it off the boards. Carter took it away. He goes back to Tahen at his own blue line. Tahen just sent it out of play from center ice. So we'll get a whistle and a timeout with 14:40 to go in the opening period and no score yet between the Prowlers and the Watertown Wolves. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
No score between the Prowlers and the Watertown Wolves with 14:40 to go in the opening period. So Donovan Tahan send that puck out of play just before the break. Picked up his first pro point last night with an assist. Signed on March 15th after an ACHA Division II season at Ohio University. Also played a couple of NCAA Division III years at Becker College. Prowlers, of course, with a couple of Becker College alum on the roster, Brian Parsons and Matt Graham, the now defunct Becker College. There's Penns, the captain, up to Tahan. His pass ahead ends up on the stick of Dylan Thackeray, back in the lineup after being a healthy scratch last night. Foley gets to the red line. Now Gagnon steps in, tried to drop it off. Turned over, and the lead pass from Moskal hops away from him. Hainzel able to settle down that puck momentarily. Now Dalton Jay trying to work on the bouncing biscuit. Hainzel didn't get all of that one working to get it out, and now it's Gagnon able to skate it to center. He sends a high flip in. The Prowlers begin to change. Billard up towards Corgan. Sent back the other way by the Prowlers. Here's Olin as a trailer in Schumacher. Instead, he'll walk out, give to Johnson, wrists it on. It's blocked on the way through. Devaney around the net. Joe Devaney curling away in the corner. Gives to Graham, out towards Schumacher. He missed it. Johnson backing him up, over to Olin, shoots. That one goes wide. And Corgan able to clear it out just as far as the red line. Schumacher starting a quick counter. Schumacher takes the shot right into Liskowitz, and he'll hang on for a whistle with 13:14 to go in the opening period. Prowlers getting some good pressure on early tonight. Shots 5-1 for the Prowlers. They send out the Merritt line with Stoya right behind Sam Merritt. So it comes to Federley, and Liskowitz able to get that big body in front of Austin Federley's try from near the goal line. Owen Liskowitz, 6'4", 240 pounds, out of Red Bank, New Jersey. Played his college hockey at Morrisville State. Comes Brennan Young, sent it around towards Seaman. It's picked up by Amanda Titus in the near side corner. Now Seaman works it up the boards. Amanda Titus Right back down in Seaman's direction. Prowlers trying to take control. Merritt couldn't force it up the wall. And now Payne with a long-range try. Kicked out by Hoffland, and Stoya chops it to center. Prowlers get a new unit out there. Long lead pass comes up, and Minnie threw a hit on his man. Where's the puck? That was Lincoln Gingrich. Puck looked like it got caught up out of play as Gingrich tried to make a move on Minnie, and I guess it hit Minnie and flew up out of play. The faceoff will be deep in Prowlers territory. 12:25 to go in the opening period. Wrist shot comes in, blocked. Now the Prowlers starting to rush 3-on-2 if they hurry. It's Gagnon. His drop pass taken away by a back-checking Gingrich. And now the Wolves offsides at the Prowlers line. So we'll get another whistle. And McGuire being restrained partially there by one of the referees tonight. Our referees are Steve Gowdy and Chris Hoy, the linesman Tobin Hernandez and Brandon Badens for tonight's game. This is actually the last game to drop the puck tonight. It a 6 o'clock, a 6:30, and two 7 p.m. puck drops. This one a 7:05 face-off. All 10 teams in the FPHL going at it tonight as Minnie one-timer goes wide and bounced up away from Dalton Jay, flying in for the rebound. Now Thackeray. Head up, dangles his way in. Here's Dylan Thackeray, who's poked off his stick at the last second. Graham fed it out to Schumacher, he scores! Good forecheck by the Prowlers, and it's Frank Schumacher wiring one home. It's 1-0 with 11:25 to go in the first. It was a 2-on-1 in the corner, and Matt Graham able to dig that puck out, and Frank Schumacher finds a soft spot in the defense, makes no mistake for his 4th goal of the season. The Prowlers get that big first goal as Liskowitz covers up and gets the Dogs going here at McMorran Place. Graham and Carter in on the face-off. Carter able to win it back. Baker curls away from Olin. And now Lord gets it out. Schumacher towards Devaney. Devaney up to Graham. Looking for Olin. He's got it. Olin couldn't dangle around Payne, who went down and sold out to block that one. Now Olin has it again. Turns it to Devaney. Schumacher flying in. Puck comes out to Alex Johnson. So Graham and Jay get the assists on Frank Schumacher's 4th of the year. Here comes Lord, one-on-one with Schumacher, and Frank Schumacher plays the body and then scoops up the puck in the corner. Schumacher up to Merritt. He turned it over. Wilson couldn't dangle his way by everybody. Comes to Carter down low. Couldn't pull the trigger. And now Schumacher knocks down Don Carter in the corner. Olin trying to dump it in. He'll go off for a change. Prowlers have Sam Merritt's line out there as Henning poked it away from Horn. Here's Stoya over to Parsons. Parsons head up, looking for Federley. And then McGuire leveled Austin Federley. That puck went by them, and now Stoya going right after McGuire. Stoya has his gloves off. Austin Federley just slowly made his way to the bench. A stick just got sent into the crowd. Now Seaman wants Parsons. I'm not sure whose stick went up into the crowd. Looks like Dakota Seaman is being sent off to the locker room. Matt Stoya over to the penalty box. He went right after Colton McGuire, who threw a big hit on Austin Federley. Federley did not have possession of the puck at any point. He may have deflected it into the zone, but his back was turned, and as he was turning to head into the zone to chase after that dump, he ended up getting leveled by McGuire. We'll sort this out and head to a break with 9:41 to go in the opening period. 1-0 Prowlers. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here at McMorran Place, 9:41 to go in the opening period. And looking back at the footage here, it looks like it was Stoya's stick that got launched into the crowd, which Liam Freeborn is still hurt right now. He went over and retrieved it and brought it back to the Prowlers bench while we were at commercial break. Currently, the only penalty up on the board is on the Prowlers side as Stoya sits in the box. Of course, we saw Dakota Seaman get brought off the ice. And I think that's what Dalton J is looking to get an explanation about. Charlie Penn's Jr. over there as well for Watertown. Right now, coming down on my monitor is a game misconduct for Dakota Seaman. But I guess no penalty that affects on-ice manpower against Seaman. So the Prowlers will go to the penalty kill for the first time tonight, as the Wolves power play, which was 0 for last night, looks to tie the game. Prowlers up on shots 7-2 right now, as Minnie's able to wrap it around the boards, kept in momentarily by Wilson, or it's chopped down the ice by Joe Devaney. It's Matt Stoya, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Again, Seaman only gets the game misconduct, but no penalty that affects on-ice manpower, which is why the Prowlers are short-handed. It's sent up. Ballard had it taken away, and now Wilson back at center. Aggressive play there by Olin to work it down the ice. Liskowitz curls it around the boards towards Ballard. Now working it up is Young. Gets into Prowler territory. Hainzel finds that puck, but he played it right off of Corgan, and now the Wolves can set up halfway through the power play. Young over to Wilson, 8:38 to go in the opening period. Wilson back to Moskal. Parker Moskal walking the line. Head up, gets it on net, kick save by Hoffland through traffic. Olin skates it, and he dumps it down. 8:20 to go, first period, 39 seconds left in the penalty to Matt Stoya. It's Lord laying it off of Prowler. Rims around in Carter's direction. Henning couldn't send it all the way down. And now Lord. Over to Carter. Rimmed around to Zach Horn, 10 seconds left on the man advantage for Watertown. Horn turned it on net, knocked down in front. Hoplin with a couple of saves, and then that one wouldn't go for a Manatitas right there on the doorstep. And then Hoplin with another save on a long-range shot just after the power play ends. Federley back in, rising shot shouldered away by Liskowitz. It came out in front. And now Stoya turnaround drive held on to by Owen Liskowitz. Wyatt Hoplin putting on a bit of a show there on the power play. Couple of good in-tight saves through traffic. I'm not sure who got a stick on the try from a Manatitas to make sure it went over top of the cage instead of in the back of the net. Either way, Prowlers survive as Moskal and Graham get set for this face-off in Owen Liskowitz's territory. It's sent all the way down the ice immediately, and Schumacher hustles there to get the icing. 7:17 to go in the opening period. Prowlers PK 1 for 1 so far tonight. Still the 9th ranked unit coming in at 77.1%. Watertown Wolves power play dead last in the FPHL. Wilson got it over to McGuire. Now McGuire looking for a teammate, instead found Matt Graham. It's taken right back by Wilson. Moskal looking for Wilson. Pass didn't go where he wanted it to, and the lead pass for Jay just behind him. Under 7 to play in the period, and Hofflin catches that long-range try and hangs on for a whistle with 6:46 to go in period number 1. Prowlers send out Evan Foley's line. He'll take the face-off against a Manatitas. Henning plays it up towards Foley. Now Evan Foley works it further. Baker goes D-to-D to Payne. Tim Payne, former Seawolf, former member of the Elmira Mammoth. Now with the Watertown Wolves, he's played against the Prowlers with all 3 teams. Olin up the boards towards Gagnon. Finds Foley. That went off his stick. Dumped back in by Watertown. It's Parsons. Wolves in the midst of a full change. Parsons able to chop it further. He's chasing it down. Meliskowitz scoops it up and covers. And now Penn's putting the glove in the face of Brian Parsons, giving him a nice base wash. And now Stoya getting involved with Charlie Penn's Jr. We did see tensions boil over late in last night's game. Sam Merritt received a 10-minute abuse of officials misconduct last night. Originally it went down as a game misconduct, so we thought that maybe Merritt would be suspended tonight because a game misconduct for abuse of officials is an automatic suspension, but they ended up taking away the game misconduct, left it as the 10-minute misconduct. Now it's not an automatic suspension, which is why Sam Merritt is playing center on this line out there right now. There's a delayed penalty against the Prowlers as Liskowitz heads to the bench. And then Stoya dumped McGuire, and now McGuire going back after Stoya. They wrestle on the ground. McGuire throwing a couple of punches, and now Federley and McGuire and another Wolf are going to go. See, that's Pens and Stoya, so it's McGuire and Federley, and they wrestle each other to the ground. They're trying to put Pens in the penalty box. Pens and Stoya want back at each other. Federley and McGuire are separated. And Austin Federley goes and joins Matt Stoya in the penalty box. 5:34 to go in the first period. Chaos. And we'll see what this does for the penalties. The original call was coming against the Prowlers. I'm not sure who it was on. I just saw the arm up from the referee. And then Stoya threw a hit on McGuire and ended up being from behind. Pens went after Stoya, and then as that was going on, Federley and McGuire got reacquainted. Of course, it was McGuire who threw the hit on Austin Federley a little while ago in front of the Wolves bench. That led to Matt Stoya's penalty earlier in the period. 2 players in each penalty box. Dustin Henning and Trevor Lord over there representing their teams. We'll find out what the explanations are. Again, just 2 minutes up on the board on the side of the Prowlers. And it looks like for the second time, the scrums are going to end up with the Prowlers down a man. And Stoya and Pens getting after each other across the scorer's table. Plenty of pointing and chatting. And now we have a referee in the penalty box blowing his whistle to tell the guys to settle down. So it is another Wolves power play. Again, we'll let you know as soon as the penalties come down, and scorer's table isn't ready for play to resume yet. Prowlers need one more man in the box to serve. It's going to be Sam Gagnon. The Wolves to their second power play of the game. And an easy face-off win for Carter. Here's Carter with the puck. Sends it to Manatidis. Manatidis in front. That one got all the way to the glass and out of the zone. Again, I'll let you know as soon as the penalties come down, or we hear an announcement from the PA system here at McMorran Place as Hofflin covers that one up. It's Stoya and Federley and Gagnon in the penalty box. Of course, Gagnon in there serving, while McGuire and Pens are in the box for the Wolves, and Olin clears. So it looks like Federley and McGuire got matching roughing penalties. Stoya and Pens matching 5-minute majors for fighting. And where the difference lies is Austin Federley getting an extra 2 for cross-checking. Lord pulls up, tried to feed it across, it was cut off by Olin. Moskal coming from the bench, able to rescue that puck, tried to send it back to Lord. It was going off for a change. Luckily for Watertown, he's able to realize before his guy jumped over the boards, that could have created a too many men on the ice situation. 35 seconds left on the penalty being served by Sam Gagnon. And now Schumacher all the way up, and Merritt just couldn't settle that one down. Merritt almost took it off of Liskowitz's stick. And now Matt Graham flying in has the puck. Sharp angle try off of Liskowitz and out of play. Under 4 to go in the opening period. Prowlers with a 1-0 lead and an offensive zone faceoff. Still down a man for the next 22 seconds. And we will indeed take a timeout. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal.
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
Every save.
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
Every hit.
Good hip check.
Every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cutback, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hoffman, and the Prowlers win it.
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
.356 to go, first period. And the Prowlers still with a 1-0 lead, 22 seconds of penalty time being served by Sam Gagnon. Austin Federley and Matt Stoya will be in there for just a little while longer. And Gagnon again set to come out in 22 seconds, serving Austin Federley's cross-checking extra 2 minutes. There's Lord off the draw. Gives it over to Amanatitis. Now Horn taken away momentarily. Horn back on the puck. Carter over to Baker. Drops it back for Don Carter. 5 seconds left on the penalty. And icing called against Watertown with 1 second left on the power play for the Wolves. So the Prowlers with an offensive zone face-off, and they're just about to go back to 5-on-5. Graham in on the face-off against Horn. We're back to 5-on-5. Here come the Wolves. Lord sent it in, and Hoffman with an easy glove grab for a whistle with 3:24 left in the first period. Just one shot on net for Watertown during that power play. Got a few on the last man advantage. Still haven't solved Wyatt Hoffman yet tonight. Here's Devaney. Couldn't get the shot off. Graham backs him up. Feeds Olin in the corner. Right back to Matt Graham. Across to Thackeray. He fired it high. Olin again turns the corner, gets to the middle of the ice, and he slipped it wide. Collected by Moskal. Muscles off Johnson. He starts a 2-on-1. Moskal takes a shot, backhand, good save by Hoffman, and he's able to cover the rebound as the puck was sent back in front. Now Moskal and Johnson getting into it a little bit. Wyatt Hoffman with a great save on Parker Moskal, who deked to the backhand, and Hoffman dove out to stop it. We're having some extracurriculars between Johnson and Moskal. They're motioning towards the penalty boxes. Looks like we'll have 4-on-4 with Johnson and Moskal both heading to their respective sin bins. McGuire has been freed. Federley, Stoya, and Pence still serving their time. Face-off will stay inside the Prowlers zone, but we will have 4-on-4. Actually, it looks like they're bringing the face-off outside. Maybe, I'm not sure. Just giving some extra explanations to the Prowlers penalty box, and now they will indeed have the face-off deep inside Prowlers territory. Port Huron sends out Foley, Parsons, Minnie, and Jay. And for Watertown, it's going to be Wilson, Corrigan, Carter, and McGuire. There's Jay off the face-off. Couldn't get around McGuire. Now Foley backing him up. Shoots, saved by Liskowitz. He juggles and hangs on. And Evan Foley broke his stick on that opportunity, so he'll have to get a new twig before this offensive zone face-off. It'll be a Foley against Wilson on the draw. Foley won it back cleanly, but just a bit too cleanly, as Gino Mini has to hustle after it in his own end. Mini, watched by Corrigan. He curls back. Almost lost the handle. Now he gives it to Parsons. Feeds Evan Foley. He has plenty of space up ice. Evan Foley with the outside try. Missed it wide. Karam's all the way back to center. Right to Parsons. Up to Mini at the Watertown blue line. Gino Mini trying to walk across. Gave it up. Wolves back the other way. The saucer pass comes into Carter. And Mini poked it off his stick. Carter curls back. Heads down low. Don Carter still on the puck. Knocked off. McGuire finds it again at the point. 50 seconds left in 4-on-4. Mini takes it from him. And now Parsons on it. Brian Parsons around the net. He'll head up ice. Here comes Parsons. Leaves it for Graham. Matt Graham. Head up. Finds Merritt fresh off the bench. Merritt to the point to Henning. Puts it on. Blocked on the way through. Graham finds the rebound. Graham back to Henning again. He'll load it up and send it over top of the cage. Schumacher just able to keep it in at the line. And Merritt's pass to Graham picked off by McGuire. We hit the final minute of play in the period. 5 seconds left in 4-on-4 as Johnson and Moskal able to come out. We're back to 5-on-5. Fed to Amanatitis. Chips it around Olin, gets after it himself. Takes a hit there from Schumacher. And Hoffling got a paddle on a pass to the front of the net. Schumacher without a stick. Hoffling with a save on the outside shot. 20 seconds to go in the period as Devaney gives to Olin. Zach Olin squeezes his way through a hit. Puck sits there in the corner. Devaney able to pull it out with 7. Across to Hansel, winds and fires it on. Liskowitz the save. 3 seconds left in the period. And that will do it for 20 minutes of play here at McMorran Place. Frank Schumacher with the only goal in that opening period. It's 1-0 Prowlers as we head to the first intermission. Shots on goal in that opening period, 12 for the Prowlers, 10 for the Watertown Wolves. They have a 1-0 lead. We will head to the intermission in just a little bit, but coming up on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel, stay tuned because we have the dog races coming up for Prowlers dogs, who I'll introduce when we come back. We'll be going for a race on the ice, and we will have it here for you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. So stay tuned, and we will show you the dog races on Pucks and Pups Night at McMorran Place. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
We have two dogs out on the ice so far. It's Matt Graham's dog, Briz, and Alex Johnson's dog, Bo. And out joining them are Dalton Jay's dogs, Poppy and Maple. And those will be your four dogs competing in the dog races here on Pucks and Pups Night tonight. Oh, we also have another competitor. I'm just calling this dog Stoya because looks like it's Matt Stoya's dog. I did not get the Stoya dog name, but they're lining up, getting set to go. Have Bo over here on the near side. That's Bo Johnson. Dog Stoya just on the other side of the net. Briz Graham next to him, and Poppy J and Maple J on the far side. Maple with an early lead. There goes Maple right to Dalton J. It's Briz and Poppy for second. Briz gets there first, and then Poppy slides in for third. And now it's chaos. Bo didn't even get past the face-off dots. And there you have it, the winner of the 2023 Prowlers Pucks and Pups dog race is Maple J. Well, that will do it for the dog races, and we'll continue the intermission here at McMorran Place with the Prowlers leading the Watertown Wolves by a score of 1-0. Well, your Prowlers have clinched the Commissioner's Cup playoffs, so celebrate with some new merch. Located on the west end of McMorran Arena, the Prowlers team store is open every home game all season long, featuring t-shirts, sweatshirts, mini sticks, and more. Brand new team issue gear is also available while supplies last. Rep your team in style with gear from the Prowlers team store. We'll be right back for second period action right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. We're getting set for the start of period number 2 here in Port Huron, and it's the Prowlers with a 1-0 lead on the Watertown Wolves. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight after a first period with plenty of rough stuff going on. We had a fight between Matt Stoya and Charlie Penns Jr. Had more than our fair share of roughing and unsportsmanlike conduct calls, and then of course Dakota Seaman getting the game misconduct for launching Matt Stoya's stick about 7 rows up down here to my left. And after all that, the only goal of the game so far is Frank Schumacher's 4th of the year, assisted by Matt Graham and Dalton Jay. That's Graham's team high 35th assist of the season. Of course, he sits second in assists in FPHL history and is in sole possession for 4th place in points in FPHL history is Matt Graham. The assist department just sitting behind Ahmed Mahfouz, who has about 300 more assists than Matt Graham. He'll be a tough guy to catch in goals, assists, and points. Although Tyler Jurich of Binghamton just 1 goal back of catching Mahfouz for the most goals in FPHL history. Jurich at 294. Mahfouz finished his Fed career at 295, so it's very possible before this regular season is out that Tyler Jurich becomes the first FPHL player to 300 goals in the league. But looking back at Matt Graham, and 4th all-time in points and 2nd all-time in assists. Teams stepping back out onto the ice and heading over to the net to our right. It is Owen Liskowitz, who made 11 saves on 10 Prowlers shots in that opening period. And momentarily, Wyatt Hofflin will be stepping out of the Prowlers tunnel to take the net to our left. He stopped all 10 Watertown Wolves shots in that first period. It's a better spot for the Prowlers than last night. They went into the second period tied yesterday, but tonight with that 1-0 lead, they haven't really given the Wolves all that much at 5-on-5. Most dangerous Wolves chances have come on the power play, and Wyatt Hofflin has been very good on the man advantage, and of course robbing Parker Moskal on the 2-on-1 chance late in the period when Moskal wanted to go back forehand, backhand, as he did on the breakaway last night against Wyatt Hofflin, but instead Hofflin this time able to make the save. Before we get started in this second period, let's take a quick look around the FPHL, and we start in Motor City where the Rockers have a 7-3 lead on the Binghamton Black Bears. That one early in the third period. We head to Elmira where the Mammoth have a 2-1 lead on the Carolina Thunderbirds in the second period. Danbury Hat-Tricks with a 5-2 lead on the Mississippi Seawolves through 1 period of play in Danbury. And the Columbus River Dragons and Delaware Thunder are tied midway through the second period. 1-0 Prowlers here as we get set for the start of period number 2. And we are underway as Baker gives it over to Tim Payne. Devaney moving in. Now Graham looking for Olin in the slot, almost fed it through the needle there, but Payne able to get it in his skates, and the Wolves come out. Schumacher over to Johnson. Alex Johnson steps in, but Graham just a half stride offside. We've played 30 seconds of this second period, and both teams switching up the units. Austin Federley and Matt Stoya both out of the penalty box after serving their sentences. Sam Merritt is their center. But winning the faceoff from him was Amanatidis. Amanatidis off the boards. Too far ahead of Young, icing waved off. Parsons couldn't get it through. Man at the point, that was Amanatidis. Now Federley in the offensive end. Wrists one wide. Merritt just claps it right back through the blue paint. Penning at the point. Fanned on the shot. Looking for the headman feed to Amanatidis. No offsides, but Parsons able to muscle him off and work it up the boards. Dehan gets it back deep. Parsons on that puck first. Federley touches it on for Merritt, and now Stoya. Long range shot, and Liskowitz clutches it to his chest and hangs on for a whistle. 18:38 to go in the second period. Prowlers still with that 1-0 lead. Evan Foley's line stepping out onto the ice for their first shift of the period. Jay threw a hit on Payne. Tim Payne still with the puck. Now he turns it over to Foley. Foley back with it to the point. Minnie wrists it just wide. Now Payne taken in there, but the pass to the middle of the ice was poked out by Corgan. And icing called against Watertown. That one barely had the legs, but they're going to have a discussion about this one. Well, no discussion, actually. They'll put it deep in Watertown territory, so the icing indeed called against the Wolves. And Foley beats Horn on the faceoff. Mini shot blocked by Payne. He needs to recollect his stick. But Gino Mini works it up ice. Comes right back to him. Hansel up towards Gagnon. Now Mini has it again. Hansel back with it. Gagnon trying to skate it out. Instead he'll go cross ice to Dalton J. Now back to Adam Hansel. Prowlers move it forward now. Jay across towards Gagnon. Tried to turn it back on net. Comes out to Johnson fresh off the bench and he whipped it wide. Foley pushing his way through in the corner. Gagnon tried to center. Cut off by Horn. And it comes to Liskowitz. He'll cover it up for a whistle with 17:20 to go in the second period. Matt Graham's line out against John Carter's line. It's Elijah Wilson in the far side face-off circle. Looking for a quick outlet pass. Rimmed around in his direction, and he has it. He'll skate it out. Sauces it over to the near side corner. Lord first on it. Trevor Lord cycles it down low. Hoffling cuts it off. Makes a pass to Devaney. Taken back by Wilson. Tried to feed it across, cut off by Olin. Now Zach Olin gives to Graham. Back to Johnson, winds and fires. Saved by Liskowitz, and the puck squirts back to center. Schumacher, quick up to Graham. Sauces it along for Olin. Comes in, shoots, saved by Liskowitz. And they couldn't get the rebound past him either. As Zach Olin thought shot, they took it away, and then they took away the pass, and then he went in, made a move, and Liskowitz able to get the glove out. Henning back up in Olin's direction. Merritt finds that puck, poked off his stick by McGuire, and Sam Merritt gets it deep to hand. That's rimmed around by McGuire. Merritt tried to send it deep, right back out from Dehan. Hofflin steers it away from Gingrich. Now it's Matt Stoya. Taken away by Gingrich. Trying to force it to the middle of the ice. Puck bouncing around there. Gingrich has it back at center. He feeds it all the way across to Young, who gets it deep. Hofflin leaves it for Henning. Here comes Dustin Henning. To Stoya, one touch all the way across to Federley. Austin Federley with a backhander. Stopped by Liskowitz. Puck behind the net. Payne works it up. And it's dumped out all the way down. And icing called against the Wolves. 15-12 to go in the second period. Prowlers will get to switch up the unit while the Wolves have a tired group of players out there after the icing. Foley able to win the draw, but Gagnon got it back to Thackeray. He's forced back to center. Puck off the boards towards Hainsel. And Payne just put Foley into the ice away from the play. Nothing called. Here's Thackeray wristing it off from the outside. Knocked down by Liskowitz. Thackeray back on it. Now Hainsel. Adam Hainsel feeds it across to Jay. This time a penalty coming. Now Jay in front. They score! Sam Gagnon crashing the crease. He got a touch on it, and the Prowlers have a 2-0 lead. The delayed penalty was coming. The Prowlers quickly came in on the counterattack. And Dalton Jay found Sam Gagnon crashing the net. Gagnon's 4th of the year and his 3rd in the past 3 games. He had 2 goals a week ago in against Delaware here at McMorran Place. 14:40 to go in the second period. It's been all Prowlers so far in this frame, as they're up on shots 7-0, and they've extended their lead to 2. Wilson, his shot deflected away. Prowlers back out. And to Hen and Devaney chasing after that puck. Olin couldn't get it back to the point. It's Gagnon from Jay. Jay with his 2nd assist of the night. Wilson around the net. Comes over the wrist shot. Stopped partially by Hofflin, and then it goes in. McGuire took the shot. Hofflin got most of it, but not all of it. And Colton McGuire with a quick answer to make it a 1-goal game again. That was the Wolves' first shot of the period. And for Colton McGuire, his 4th goal of the season. All 3 goals tonight. The respective goal scorers' 4th goal of the season. I don't know what to do with that stat, but there it is. Here's Parsons. Giving it over to Henning. Prowlers can't get it out. It's deflected back below the goal line. Parsons couldn't get it to a teammate. Comes all the way down, and icing called against the Prowlers. Oh, it's McGuire from Wilson. Just 41 seconds after Sam Gagnon's goal from Dalton Jay. And after all that, we are back to a 1-goal hockey game. Parsons up to Federley. Finds Henning joining the play. His pass to Merritt off his stick. Wolves trying to turn it back the other way. Poked back out. And Stoya taken out with a nice hit by Bellard. Hofflin will glove it after the dump in from center. We'll get a face-off with 13:19 left to go in period number 2, and we will also take a timeout. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Back here at McMorran Place, 2-1 our score. As Sam Gagnon and Colton McGuire score just 41 seconds apart in this second period. And that gets us right back where we were to begin the frame, a 1-goal Prowler lead. Prowlers up on shots in this period, 7-1. They dominated for the first little while of the frame, but Wolves getting a little bit of pressure after that McGuire goal, and they have an offensive zone face-off out of this TV timeout. .294's in the face-off, and Evan Foley able to win it away from John Amanatidis. It's dumped back in. Here's Henning. A scrum in the corner. Foley able to chip it out. McGuire had it knocked away by Jay. He races after the puck. Dalton Jay around the net. Gives it to Hainsel fresh off the bench. Out to the corner. Gagnon locks up with Tahan. Hainsel and McGuire back after it. McGuire over to the near side. Gingrich gets it out. Now stepping in is Amanatidis around Minnie. And then Gino Minnie takes the puck away from him. Amanatidis gets the wrist shot on that Hoffman is able to cover up without a whistle. 12:24 to go in the second period. Another good opportunity there for Watertown, looking to tie this game. They'll get another face-off to Wyatt Hoffland's left. Graham and Carter in on the face-off. Lord is the one at near the top of the face-off circle, trying to get the quick shot off. But Graham able to win it from Carter to prevent that opportunity. Johnson up towards Devaney, knocked along. Baker sent it back the other way. Here's Schumacher. Up the boards, Devaney tips it in. Devaney in front to Graham, and he just couldn't settle it down. He was all by himself. Liskowitz tried to pull that in to cover it up, couldn't do it. Prowlers keep the pressure on. It's Schumacher wristing it on, blocked by Payne. Hofflin out to play it away from Lord. Carter first on it. Carter trying to get it towards Lord. Carter slipping by. Up to the point it comes. Pens across to Wilson, the one-time blast. Knocked down. I think that hit Schumacher on the way through. Carter, turnaround pass in front. Pops out towards Devaney. And Joe Devaney lifts it out. Tahan with 11:05 to go in the second period. It goes deep to Prowler's territory. Dustin Henning racing after it. He'll start up ice. Poked off his stick. Merritt couldn't dangle his way through. Now it's Parsons to Henning. Merritt goes all the way across the ice. Stoya first on it. Pace is slowed down just a little bit here. Prowlers trying to get things moving. Here's Stoya into the offensive end. Couldn't put it on net. Now Federley from a sharp angle. Parsons back towards the cage. That went wide. Henning all the way across looking for a stick. It's poked past Parsons. A 4-on-1, now it's a 3-on-1. Sets a cross, and Hoffman makes a big save on Horn. Horn back in, and his shot stopped by Wyatt Hoffman. He'll hang on for a whistle and applause from the McMorran Place crowd with 10:05 to go in the second period. A big save by Wyatt Hoffman as the Wolves had numbers moving up ice. He's able to stop the one-timer from Zach Horn. Hansel fanned on the clearing attempt. It's work to Gagnon. He'll skate it out. Sam Gagnon has Jay going to the net. Couldn't get it there. Now Gagnon tried the wraparound. He was knocked down though. Liskowitz wasn't on that post. Manatidis wrists it in. And it's held on to by Wyatt Hoffman for a whistle. 9:34 to go, second period. Prowlers still holding a 2-1 lead. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here in Port Huron, 9:34 to go. Second period, still a 2-1 Prowlers lead. Oh, we've seen a little bit less of the extracurriculars this period. No penalties to speak of yet in this frame. Prowlers still searching for they're still waiting for their first power play of the game. All four penalties, that the Wolves have taken so far tonight have either been matched by the Prowlers or not affected on-ice manpower of a fighting, a game misconduct that didn't affect on-ice manpower, and then a couple of 2-minute minors for the Wolves that were matched up by the Prowlers. The only two power plays so far tonight belonging to Watertown. Graham hits the trailer mini that hops over his stick. Devaney cycles it around for Graham. Matt Graham to the point. He handcuffed Haynes a little bit. Liskowitz plays it behind his own net, up towards Wilson. He skies it all the way to Lord. Lord got around Hansel, chasing after that puck again. He and Graham take Lord in. Now it's wristed on, and Hoffman able to find it through the traffic and hang on for a whistle with 8:47 left to go in the second period. Prowlers sending out Sam Merritt's line. Wolves have Zach Horn's line out there. Of course, the Wolves have been down a player for most of this game, as Dakota Seaman received a game misconduct early in that first period after he launched Matt Stoya's stick up into the crowd. Stoya trying to get his way through. Here he comes. That's Stoya still on that puck, lifting sticks. Now Federley to the point. Schumacher wrists it on, goes wide. Battle there on the half wall. Stoya kicks it out. Federley sweeps it over. Schumacher winds and fires. Oh, that hurt. That's Ballard who blocked that shot. He's down in a heap, and now he's limping back up. Stoya couldn't get to that puck in front of the net. Now Johnson sent it all the way through the crease. Gagnon picks it up on the other side. Gagnon wrists it off of Ballard again. The warrior, Pierre-Luc Bellard. He's trying to hobble to the Wolves bench right now. Johnson sends it right back to Wolves territory, and Pierre-Luc Bellard getting some pats on the back on the bench. Meanwhile, here's Thackeray, poked off his stick by Payne. Wolves trying to start a rush the other way. Horn looking for Payne. He was blanketed by Dylan Thackeray. Now it's Foley. Sends it out to Hand, back in his own territory. 7:10 to go in the second period. Parsons chips it in. Here's Olin. Olin chasing back after it. McGuire takes him into the Zamboni door. Now Olin comes out with it. Zach Olin to the point. Thackeray walks. Works down low. Dylan Thackeray head up. Tried to feed it back to the point, but couldn't hit Dalton J. All the way back for Parsons. Sent it up. Icing waved off as Olin got a piece of it. Matt Graham in on the puck first to Devaney. He'll go all the way around the net. He'll stop. Now he stops up. Devaney. Over to Graham. Back for Joe Devaney. Prowlers really controlling play for these last couple of shifts. Graham couldn't send it back out in front. Now going towards the back door, just out of Olin's reach. Olin to Hainzel. Now Devaney behind the net. In front to Olin. Save, rebound. And another one from Liskowitz. Devaney tried the wraparound. It wouldn't go. Olin able to keep it in. Sends it down low to Graham. Into Devaney. And that one stopped by Liskowitz. The net has come off its moorings. And it looks like they're opening the penalty box door for Elijah Wilson. So great work from the Prowlers on these last few shifts. And they've drawn a roughing penalty on Elijah Wilson. And the Prowlers get their first power play of the game. Matt Stoya had a power play goal last night. Prowlers scored all three of their goals with an on-ice manpower advantage last night. Power play goal from Matt Stoya, and then, of course, the 2 goals at 6-on-5 in the final 30 seconds. Wasn't enough, though, as the Wolves clear right off the draw. There's Stoya up towards Schumacher. Out of his reach. Now here's Stoya again, up to Foley. Evan Foley turning up ice. He gets it deep. Now Schumacher couldn't force it out in front. Baker sends it all the way back down. 35 seconds gone. Prowlers start to change up the unit. Stoya steps out, gives it to Schumacher, on for Graham. Now Graham cross-ice pass to Jay. Jay sends it around. Graham kept it moving, but nobody home at left point as the Prowlers were in the midst of a change. Now McGuire couldn't send it back towards Prowlers ice. But Merritt was knocked down coming back into the zone. And sent all the way back to Wyatt Hoffman. 45 seconds left on the Prowlers power play. They haven't really been able to get much going. Haven't been able to set up at all in the Watertown zone. And Amanda Titus continues the great PK for the Watertown Wolves. Penalty kill that is third in the FPHL at an even 82%. Olin to Graham. Sauces it back to Federley. 20 seconds to go on the penalty. That one went wide. Here's Olin turning the corner. Sent it down low. Graham got a piece and then bats around and goes wide. Federley takes the shot. It's blocked. They poke it below the goal line. Final seconds ticking off the penalty clock. And the Wolves able to get it out just as Wilson steps out of the penalty box. So the Prowlers don't go shotless on the power play, but they don't get much going until the final 20 seconds or so. As the Wolves PK 1-for-1 tonight. Merritt tried to send Foley on his way. Puck was in his skates. Austin Federley waiting for his team to complete a change. He reverses to Evan Foley. 3 minutes to go in the second period. The long pass came up towards Federley, but he was heading to the bench. Luckily for the Prowlers, it was on goal. So Baker gives to Manatitas. Manatitas, right back to Brandon Baker. Here's Gingrich. Sent it around, Young and Henner after it. And Henning. Here's Henning. Now Carter pulls up, looking for Payne off his skate. Prowlers trying to start a counter. Foley into the offensive zone, dumps it deep. It's Pens up to Lord. Now Lord skating up ice. Wolves have numbers. Lord takes the outside shot, and Hufflin hangs on for a whistle. 2:05 to go in the second period. Still 2-1 Prowlers here at McMorran Place. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hufflin. The rebound. Another one.
every hit,
Good hip check.
every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskins, cut back, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hufflin, and the Prowlers win it.
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
Back here in Port Huron, 2-1 Prowlers with 2:05 to go in the second period. Prowlers up on shots right now, 26-17 in the game, 14-7 in the period. They have gotten one past Owen Liskowitz in this frame. Colton McGuire got a quick answer. Carter right off the draw sent it wide. That's where we stand. 2-1 with under 2 minutes to go in the period. Carter below the goal line, Powers out in front. And Federley takes the puck off the glass and out. McGuire lost it in his skates, Graham chasing after it. Here's Matt Graham around the net, all the way across. Federley sent it on net, and Liskowitz the save. Graham overskates it. Carter lost the handle with Dalton J coming in. Out to Han, up to Wilson, right back to Donovan to Han. It's Minnie giving it up to Graham. Prowlers start a breakout with 1:15 to go, and Graham shot it right off of Jay's skate. Timing off just a bit between those two on that play. Pops out to Merritt. He sends Olin on his way as we hit the final minute of play in the period. Bellar gets it back to center. It's rolling all the way down, and icing called against the Wolves with 52.9 seconds to go in the second period. Face-off will be to Owen Liskowitz's right. Merritt's going to take it against Zach Horn. Merritt wins it back. Johnson leaves for Devaney, and he dumps it in. McGuire over to Payne. 40 seconds left in the period. Tim Payne, head up, Tries the home run pass, couldn't find Corgan. Corgan able to negate the icing. Poked away from him though. Here's Olin. Zach Olin trying for one last rush for the Prowlers. Dangles his way through, and Baker took the puck away. Now Schumacher wrists it on, save, rebound, the puck was there, and it squirts out. Merritt and Villar behind the play, giving each other a couple of extra shoves. 5 seconds left in the period, and Frank Schumacher will just run it out behind the net, and the Prowlers will take a 2-1 lead into the third period of play tonight at McMorran Place. Shots on goal in that period, 15 for the Prowlers and 7 for the Watertown Wolves, for game totals of 27 for Port Huron and 17 for Watertown. Sam Gagnon and Colton McGuire with the only goals of that second period, 41 seconds apart. And that's where we stand, a 2-1 Prowlers lead through 2 periods of play. So secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game as they take on the Motor City Rockers on Friday, March 31st, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Tickets are available online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by calling the box office at 810-985-6166. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets or by phone at 810-985-6166. That'll be the final Battle of I-94 series of the season, games 15 and 16 between the Prowlers and Rockers coming up next weekend. But first, Prowlers will look to close out the Watertown Wolves with third period puck drop coming up in just about 17 and a half minutes from now. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. third period action just minutes away here at McMorran Place. And it's a 2-1 Port Huron Prowlers lead on Pucks and Pups night here in Port Huron. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Before we get into that second period, let's take a look around the FBHL and just going final about 45 minutes down the road. An 8-4 victory for the Motor City Rockers, a game where they got outshot 53-31 by the Binghamton Black Bears, but another great performance from Trevor Babin helped the Rockers get their footing and keep themselves in the game, and they built a big lead in front of their star goaltender. 8-4 Rockers victory over the Binghamton Black Bears. Knotted up at 2 apiece in Elmira are the Mammoth and the Carolina Thunderbirds. That one midway through the third period. Danbury Hat-Tricks didn't seem too keen on getting swept by the Mississippi Seawolves for the second time this season. They have an 8-2 lead on the Seawolves, with the third period just getting set to start in Danbury. Finally, the Delaware Thunder with a 3-1 lead on the Columbus River Dragons as they begin the third period of action in Harrington, Delaware. And of course here, it's 2-1 Prowlers. Both teams getting set to take the ice as that second period, relatively low event. Sam Gagnon made it a 2-0 Prowlers game, 5:20 into the second frame, but then 41 seconds later, a shot from the point, Colton McGuire gave the Watertown Wolves just a 1-goal deficit, and that's where we are heading into the third period. They've added assists on both those goals. Adam Hainsel now has an assist on Gagnon's goal. Trevor Lord now has one on Colton McGuire's tally. Elijah Wilson with the only penalty of that second period. The Prowlers did not score on the power play. Wyatt Hoffland sliding into the goal crease to our right. He has made 16 saves on 17 Wolves shots so far tonight, while Owen Liskowitz in the goal crease to our left, 25 saves on 27 shots against him so far in this one. Of course, last night it was a 1-1 game heading into the third period, but Watertown scored 3 times in the final frame, including the empty net game winner, which is not something you can say all that often, from Lincoln Gingrich, and that was what got the victory done for the Watertown Wolves, as they won that one 4-3. Prowlers looking to pull 3 points out of tonight's game, and we're underway in the third period. Baker feeds it around towards Payne. Tim Payne sauces it along. Schumacher kicks it back out. Here's Joe Devaney weaving his way through center. Devaney enters the offensive zone, takes the shot, and Liskowitz with the save. Both teams making their first changes of the final frame. 28 seconds into period number 3. Matt Stoya lined up right behind Sam Merritt. They get it there, and Stoya's shot partially blocked on the way through. There were a couple of Wolves sliding out to get a piece of it. Here's Gingrich. They're sending it all the way down. An icing called against Watertown. They'll do it again back in Owen Liskowitz's end. Time the face-off to Liskowitz's right. And this time the face-off won by Amanatitis. He and Merritt giving each other some extra cross-checks and shoves after that puck drop. Nothing further seems to be coming from that, as Parsons sent it on net. Blocked on the way through by Tahan. Now it's Henning up to Stoya. Prowlers in on side. Wolves trying to chop it out. It does come out. Sent it right back in by Stoyes. He heads off for a change. Played a minute 15 of this third period as Amanatidis lofts it in on Hofflin. He'll cover up for a whistle. And the first face-off down in his end of this third period going to be taken here between Evan Foley and Zach Horn. Each team with a shot so far in this third period. Both goaltenders making the first save of the period that they had to make as Minnie works it up to Gagnon, backhands it out. Payne sent across. It's Corgan. Back over to Tim Payne. Up to Bellar. He deflects it out. Minnie up to Gagnon. He's right back in. Sam Gagnon tried to drop it to Jay. Wolves coming out. It's Baker entering the offensive zone. Corgan with outside shot. That one looked like it changed directions on the way through, or Corgan just didn't get all of it. Either way, Prowlers come back out. Jay couldn't muscle his way through center. Horn to Corgan. Has a man breaking, it's Bellar. Corgan sends it from the outside, and Bellar got a stick on it, and somehow Hofflin just spread out enough to get his pad on the rebound shot from Pierre-Luc Bellar. Prowlers have iced the puck, but Hofflin didn't handle the shot from the boards cleanly, and Bellar was all by himself sneaking in. Was able to get a piece of it, but Hofflin had the leg stuck out and able to make we'll call it a positional save. Comes out, Carter with a backhander. I think that hit the post. Carter with it again. Wolves threatening early in the period. Hofflin turns away a shot from Trevor Lord. Carter hustling his way through the boards. Carter again, knocked off his stick. Now the Prowlers come out. Olin head up, has 3 Wolves ahead of him. Now only 2. Here's Olin with a shot, and Liskowitz got a piece. Johnson up the boards, finds Olin. Comes on through to Graham in the corner. Graham behind the net, down to a knee, fed it out in front, didn't get all the way to Olin. Johnson kept it at the point. His long-range drive stopped by Liskowitz. The rebound batted around. We have an arm up for a penalty. Slashing is the signal. And the only question is, who's at fault? And it's Donovan Tahan who's going to be escorted to the penalty box, so a big chance for the Prowlers to extend their lead. They get their second power play of the game. So Merritt, Jay, Graham, Olin, and Federley out there for this face-off. Liskowitz still fixing his equipment, getting himself set. The Amanatidis, Corgan, Pens, and it looks like that Brandon Baker, the 4th penalty killer for the Watertown Wolves. Merritt around the net. Prowlers set up. Jay tried to feed it across. That was blocked. Merritt couldn't get it down low on the net, and that puck was loose. Merritt didn't get a good shot. A quick whistle comes from the referees. Again, that puck was loose. Happened a couple of times on that end last night, which was Adam Wisco's net. Both times it happened. And both times it happened, it was again towards the east end of McMorran Arena. Here's Jay across for Olin. Back to Dalton Jay. Federley wrists it on high. Merritt takes it off the glass. Up the boards towards Olin. He's double teamed, able to get to Graham in front, looking for Merritt. Sticked away by Amanatidis. Graham back to Olin. Zach Olin Up the boards to Federley. Olin again. Federley looking for Jay heading towards the net. Chopped away. Federley keeps it in at the line. Halfway through this power play. Federley in the slot. Couldn't get that one to go on net. Pens trying to clear it out. Graham was looking for the bench. Now he risks it on net. It wouldn't go. Olin turns the corner. Nice move. But it's poked off his stick and cleared down by the Wolves. Hoffman keeps things moving. Prowlers trying to catch the Wolves in a change. It's Jay in front. And Olin just poked it wide. Schumacher battling for that puck on the half wall. Olin down low. Couldn't center. Carter able to chop it back out. 20 seconds left to go on the Prowlers power play. We played 5 minutes in this third period. Johnson up to Matt Stoya. Stoya flies in. Saved by Liskowitz. The rebound sat there. The Prowlers couldn't get to it. Penalty expires, so power play 0 for 2 now for Port Huron. And the 1-goal lead remains. Foley trying to work his way through center. Hands off to Stoya. Stoya with outside try off the side of the cage. Moskal couldn't chip it up to himself. Devaney steals it. Foley to Johnson, walks and fires, and that one blocked on the way through. We have another penalty coming. I believe this time it will be against the Prowlers. And Matt Stoya, the one heading to the penalty box. So almost immediately it's the Wolves going to the power play. We will take a timeout. A Watertown power play coming when we return. 14-16 to go, third period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Watertown to its third power play of the game, looking to tie the score with 14-16 left to go in the third period. It's Matt Stoya, 2 minutes for interference. He's seen a lot of the inside of that penalty box tonight. Prowlers send out Graham, Federley, Parsons, and Henning for the kill. It's Carter, Lord, Amanatidis, Horn, and Baker, the Wolves' second unit to start this power play. Carter out to Amanatidis. He backs up. Now up top to Horn. Baker hesitates, gives to Lord, and saved by Hoffman. The rebound cleared, but only as far as the line. Horn back all the way across to Lord. Baker at the top. Quickly to Horn. Prowlers able to reestablish that box, and now Graham steals a pass, and he backhands it down. Prowlers got caught running around just a little bit after Wyatt Hoffman made that save. They were able to reestablish their position, and Matt Graham was able to get the puck all the way down. Wolves trying to set back up here. Puck locked up in that far side corner. Minnie trying to kick it along. Instead, it pops out to Moskal. Corrigan back to Moskal. He risked one through traffic that Hoffman's able to steer aside. Corrigan. Now it's Moskal, one-timer, and it's blocked by Minnie. Lord down low to Corgan, back to Trevor Lord. Moskal with 37 to go on the power play. Corgan. Back to Moskal. Over to Horn. Curls back. Tried to feed all the way across. It got to Lord, and that one deflected wide. 20 seconds to go on the power play as Horn fumbles and Merritt clears. 12 and a half minutes to go in the third period as Parker Moskal looking to work it up himself. Moskal gets into the Prowler zone, drops it off for Ballard. Comes all the way around, Schumacher waiting for it. Played it right into Corgan. We're back to 5-on-5. Prowlers get it out. 12 minutes to go in this third period. Here's McGuire. Cross towards Moskal. Schumacher with a diving play to keep that one off the stick of an oncoming Wolf. Prowlers turn it the other way. Here's Olin. Across to Federley. One more in front. It was blocked. He had Joe Devaney there. And now Federley comes out in front. And Liskowitz makes the save. Oh, Joe Devaney was all by himself on the doorstep. Federley tried to feed it there, but it was blocked on the way through. Johnson up towards Olin. He tips it in. Liskowitz stops it there. Now Olin. Head up, dangles to the middle of the ice. Now Graham tried to push it on net, just sent it wide. Graham again, he just fanned on it. The net behind Liskowitz is off. Meanwhile, Lord the other way. The whistles blow. Just as Trevor Lord was taking that shot, they blew it dead. They'll fix the net on Owen Liskowitz's end, and we'll see where this face-off ends up. With 11:07 to go in the third period. And the face-off will be outside of the Prowlers zone. Discussion was whether it would be inside or outside of the Prowlers territory. As Carter able to win it, Wilson couldn't backhand it in. So it comes back to Baker. Tipped up in the air, Parsons able to chop it along. Here's Gagnon. Fed it across, Jay dumps it in. 10:48 to go in the third period. Now Gagnon, head up, sends to the point. Henning wrists it on, that one got through traffic and just wide. Parsons cut off a headman feed. Jay back in. He couldn't touch it for a moment as Evan Foley was still getting back onside. Now here's Carter. Down low to Young. Brennan Young in front. Knocked away. Minnie up to Jay. Finds Gagnon at the red line. He'll dump it in, and the Prowlers get a change going with 10:10 to go in the third period. Port Huron still with that 2-1 lead. McGuire, his pass couldn't find its not moving target. That was to Hen. He's the one that rims it all the way around and down the ice. And it's icing called against the Watertown Wolves. We'll take a timeout. 9:51 left to go in the third period, and the Prowlers still with that 2-1 lead. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel.
Adventures await you at the award-winning DoubleTree by Hilton Port Huron. Experience the breathtaking view of sailboats and freighters, framed against the background of the impressive Blue Water Bridge, all from the comfort of your elegant guest room balcony. Planning a wedding? The DoubleTree by Hilton has the perfect setting to celebrate a marriage with its wonderful landscaping and beautiful reception area. So whether it's a romantic getaway, a family vacation, or a company outing, sweeten it with a view to remember at the DoubleTree by Hilton, Port Huron.
Back here at McMorran Place, 9:51 to go, third period, and it's a 1-goal lead for the home team. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Scoring's been at a premium for this game. Both goaltenders have made some great saves. Wyatt Hoffland up to 23 stops on the night. Owen Liskowitz with 32 saves. Wilson gets his way by, gets in, saved by Hoffland, and he has the rebound. He covers it up. Now Wilson and Hainsel with a little bit of extracurriculars after the play. Wilson heads back to his bench. Looks like nothing further coming. Looks like the clock may have not started on that face-off. Or maybe it went a bit too long, I'm not sure. It says 9:22 right now. And they put it back up to 9:41. Face off one back, Moskal rose it high. Stoya on the counter attack, wrists it off of Liskowitz. Think he did get a piece of that one, did Owen Liskowitz. Now Stoya dangling it to the point. Mini shot stopped by Liskowitz, and the rebound cleared all the way to Prowler ice. Hoffland keeps it moving right up to Matt Stoya. Sent it to the middle of the ice. His team was in the midst of a change, so Horn turns it the other way. Amanatidis taken down by Frank Schumacher, and that's an easy call for the referee. The Wolves will head back to the man advantage with 9:04 to go in the third period. Frank Schumacher just laying out, trying to get at that loose puck. And unfortunately for the Prowlers, he tripped up Amanatidis, so they'll have to kill off another penalty. But the faceoff goes all the way back to Wolves ice. Moskal and Olin chasing after it. It's Parker Moskal. Parker Moskal all by himself. Wanted to bank it off of Wyatt Hoffland. Hoffland held that post. Moskal again. Comes over to Wilson. Couple of goals for him last night. Prowlers able to cut it off, but the dump from Parsons hit Olin. Luckily for him, Zach Olin able to finish the job. 8.5 to go, third period. Prowlers send out a new penalty kill unit. It's Bellar rimming it around. Foley first on it. He tried to dump it out. It was kept in. Foley on it again. He'll try the other side off of Bellar. And then Minnie was looking for Federley, who was breaking. Sets turned back by the Wolves. Horn behind the net. Minnie sends it up the boards all the way down to Owen Liskowitz. 50 seconds left on the PK for the Prowlers. Corgan through center into the Prowler zone. Corgan behind the net. He continues to wheel with the puck. Now we'll cycle it down. Horn all the way across to Lord. Tried to wrist it on. Good block by Dustin Henning. He felt that one. Dalton Jay back up, 1-on-2. Puck knocked off his stick. Dustin Henning slowly makes his way to the Prowlers bench. Jay with a steal! And saved by Liskowitz. 5 seconds left in the penalty kill for the Prowlers. And now we're back to 5-on-5 as Horn dumps it in. Johnson up to Graham, taken away by Carter, saved by Hoffland. Rebound Horn, and Hoffland has that too. Big saves on both ends from Owen Liskowitz and Wyatt Hoffland. And the score remains 2-1 Prowlers with 6:53 to go in the third period. Graham's line out there immediately after the power play. Actually, it's going to be Sam Merritt centering Zach Olin and Joe Devaney. Not sure why they sent Graham to the bench. That faceoff squirted right through this slot. Devaney gets it out. And Merritt quickly off the ice, and now the Prowlers have the full Graham line on. Comes over towards Young, it was behind him. Schumacher off the boards, couldn't get it out. Sits there at the blue line. 5 players in there digging away. Time ticks away. Pops out to Johnson, over to Devaney. Sauces it along, couldn't find Olin. And out to Hen has iced the puck. So the Prowlers will get a full change in, and they'll get an offensive zone face-off with 6:14 to go in period number 3. They send Evan Foley's line out there. They'll take the face-off against Parker Moscow. Chop to the near side. Young gets it out. And now Minnie gets a poke on it. Hainzel plays it off the far side boards. Prowlers almost able to regain control at center, but Jay couldn't cross that blue line because Foley was still in there. Now McGuire dumps it around. Minnie able to lift Carter's stick. Federley off the boards and out. Comes all the way back to Wolves ice. Won't have the gas for an icing. Baker plays it to Wilson. Comes across to McGuire. Carter couldn't handle that pass. Now Foley. Out there ahead of Carter. Left it for Parsons. Devaney finds Dalton Jay through center. Jay surrounded, and Lord knocked it off his stick. Payne back the other way. Gives to Baker. And his pass across hit Devaney and flies out of play. I believe this faceoff will be inside of the Wolves zone with 5:13 to go in period number 3. No, they will say the faceoff comes outside. Bit of a mixed line here as Prowlers have Merritt, Stoya, and Devaney on the ice for this faceoff. No Sam Gagnon on this line. Henning chasing after it in his own end. Parsons up to Stoya. The high flip comes down right for Joe Devaney. Payne kicks it along. Tried to backhand it out. It comes to center where Olin knocks it down. He's back in. His shot blocked away by Liskowitz and out of play with 4:45 to go in period number 3. Still a 2-1 Prowlers lead, and we will take our final timeout. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the Prowlers YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Freeborn cutting to the net. Save, rebound, score!
Every goal,
Back to Jay. Wrist shot, he scores!
every save,
Going the other way, Papandrea. Saved by Hoffman. The rebound. Another one.
every hit,
Good hip check.
every
Fires, and he scores!
single
Michael Haskell, cut back, heading with another good shot, and then a left. Oh, boy.
game.
Cardinal poked away by Hoffman, and the Prowlers win it.
The Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Subscribe now.
We invite you to tune in to our next broadcast on Friday, March 31st, when the Prowlers host the Motor City Rockers. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 6:50. It's all right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. And as I always say, hockey is best viewed in public here at McMorran Place. So if you can get here, be sure to be here for the final game of the Prowlers 7-game homestand. And they'll go on the road for 3 one in Motor City a week from tonight, and then they'll visit Watertown 2 weeks from now. And their final home series against the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and then a week after that, it's playoff time. No matchups locked in yet in the FPHL Commissioners Cup playoffs. Prowlers right now 4th in the Continental Division, and the Columbus River Dragons sitting 1st. If things stay, that would be the first round matchup. Here's Moskal. Regains it behind the net to Tehen, and his shot just goes off of Hofflin and wide. 4 minutes to go in the third period. Tehen able to keep it in. Curls away from Devaney, backhanded it towards the cage. Now Graham couldn't get it behind the net. It's Moskal out in front, and a nice play by Joe Devaney to poke it away from Ballard. Lead pass on for Ballard, or else Moskal, excuse me, out of his reach, so icing called against Watertown with 3:36 left to go in period number 3. Foley and Moskal on the face-off. And Foley wins it back. Minnie with a wrist shot. Caught the back glass. Federley sent it across to Minnie. Puts it on, and Liskowitz makes the save and hangs on for a whistle. Wolves able to get a change in. Now they'll send out John Amanatidis' line. Foley and Amanatidis in the face-off circle. Baker pulls it out. There's Baker. Over to Payne. Tim Payne works up ice. He backhands it in. Took a weird hop off the stanchion, and Gino Mini pokes it along for Jay. He sends Foley on his way. Foley one-on-one with Baker. Outside shot gloved and held by Owen Liskowitz. Exactly 3 minutes up on the big board here at McMorran Place. Prowlers still clinging to that 1-goal lead. Pucks and Pups night here at McMorran Place. Of course against the Watertown Wolves, because why not? That makes sense. Parsons couldn't send it in. It was blocked by Wilson. Now Lord backhands it to Prowlers territory. Well, keep an eye on Owen Liskowitz. 2:45 to go, third period. Wilson couldn't send it deep. Now Graham bats at that bouncing puck. He's able to get it out. Took a couple of hops before Matt Graham swung at it. He was really lining it up. Able to get enough of it as Baker now moves it up to Tahem, back to Brandon Baker. Baker dumps it in. Parsons feeds up to Stoya, and now Foley. Evan Foley dumps it, chases after it. He gets there first, has help coming off the bench, tried to find Devaney. It was deflected on the way through. Lord back in, surrounded by gold jerseys. Liskowitz to the bench, under 2 minutes to go in this third period. It's a 6-on-5 advantage for the Watertown Wolves with the goalie pulled. Puck sits there along the boards, and finally they'll blow it dead. Now with 1:44 left in this third period. And McGuire trying to tug his stick out there a bit aggressively with Austin Federley, the one down on the ice. Looks like Watertown is going to call its timeout. 1:44 to go, third period. Owen Liskowitz on the bench. Prowlers with a 2-1 lead. Both goaltenders have played admirably tonight. Liskowitz has 37 saves. Wyatt Hoffman, 27. The goals coming from, in the first period, it was Frank Schumacher. And then the second, Sam Gagnon and Colton McGuire. Dalton Jay with a pair of assists for the Prowlers tonight. Plenty of penalties on the penalty sheet, though, to make up for the lack of goals tonight. Prowlers with 17 penalty minutes. Watertown with 23 penalty minutes on the evening. We'll send out Corgan, Ballard, Carter, Wilson, Moscow, and Lord. Prowlers have Graham, Schumacher, Foley, Johnson, and Federley, and the face-off won by Watertown. Wilson gets it deep. Billard down to Carter. Carter couldn't center. Graham took it away. Battle for behind the cage. Carter pulls it out. Up to Moscow. Wrist shot blocked by Federley. And Johnson sends it the length of the ice, just wide of the empty net. Foley hustling after it. And they call icing. I thought Evan Foley won that race. Prowlers can't believe it. And the boos raining down here from the McMorran Place crowd. Wilson was first on the puck, but I thought Evan Foley won the race to the face-off circles, which is typically how the icings are decided. Maybe they thought that since Wilson got to the puck first because he took the outside path, that was the difference. Either way, face-off between Graham and Carter, deep in Prowler territory. Schumacher chops it out. Moskal in his own end. Long lead pass up to Lord. We've hit the final minute of play in the third period. Johnson tried to dump it out. It hit Carter. Now Horn, Johnson, Carter in there. Carter pulls it out. Moskal sent it on net. That hit Hoffman in the mask. Moskal walks the line. Walking still, he sent it towards the middle of ice. Sent out by the Prowlers as it hopped over Manatidis' stick. 30 seconds left. Schumacher steals it away. Frank Schumacher to the empty net. He's got it. Great individual effort from Frank Schumacher to get that puck to the empty net, his second of the night. And that should put a bow on this one with 25.4 seconds left in the third period. And you have to think the first star of the game will go to Frank Schumacher. Now 2 goals for him on the evening. And a big one for the Prowlers. As Ballard sent it in front, Merritt cut it off. Liskowitz staying put in his net. Ballard tried to pull it off the backboards. Off that ricochet. It comes out to Jay, one-on-one with Baker. Jay takes the shot, goes wide. 5 seconds left, and they'll count it down. The Prowlers have defeated the Watertown Wolves by a final score of 3-1, and they split the weekend. Three points here at home, and the Prowlers move to 4-2 on this homestand. In front of a crowd of 1,515 here at McMorran Place. Well, I already mentioned I think I have Frank Schumacher as the first star of the game tonight. I'd also have to put Wyatt Hoffman on there as the star of the game. And I'm sure Sam Gagnon will get the other for the game-winning goal. Final shots this game 40 for the Prowlers, 29 for the Watertown Wolves. As the Prowlers get to head into the weekend happy, and they will head to Motor City next week. We'll pause for the 3 stars announcement. So I was a little bit off. They give Wyatt Hofflin the 3rd star with 28 saves. Dalton Jay gets the 2nd star with 2 assists. And Frank Schumacher the 1st star with a pair of goals. Before we get too deep into the post-game show, just another reminder to tune in to our next broadcast on Friday, March 31st, when the Prowlers host the Motor City Rockers. Puck drop at 7:05, and the pregame show starts at 6:50 right here on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. Well, Frank Schumacher got the scoring started in the first period with an absolute laser from inside the face-off circles. That made it 1-0 Prowlers. That's where we stood into the second period. Sam Gagnon and Colton McGuire scoring 41 seconds apart, and that kept it a 1-goal Prowler lead. Heading into the third, it stayed that way until Schumacher hit the empty net. A great individual effort from Frank Schumacher to get around a couple of Wolves and make his way towards the vacated cage. And that was your game tonight. Before we head out, let's take another quick look around the scores of the FPHL tonight. Of course, all 10 teams were in action on this Saturday night. And the final score, 45 minutes down the road, the Motor City Rockers picking up an 8-4 victory over the Binghamton Black Bears. It just finished up in Elmira, and the Mammoth 5-3 winners over the Carolina Thunderbirds. If I'm not mistaken, that is a sweep for the Mammoth. Oh, I'm sorry, I am mistaken. The Thunderbirds did win last night, but the Mammoth earn a split against the Carolina Thunderbirds, who just hit 100 points last night, up to 101 points, second in the Continental Division. Danbury Hat-Tricks have an 8-3 lead on the Mississippi Seawolves midway through the third period in Danbury. And finally in Harrington, Delaware, final seconds ticking off, and the Delaware Thunder have defeated the Columbus River Dragons 4-3 to split their weekend series. So those are your scores around the FPHL. Of course, here, a 3-1 victory for the Port Huron Prowlers in front of their home crowd. We'll see you next time on Friday, March 31st, when the Prowlers take on the Motor City Rockers. We'll either see you here at McMorran Place or on the Port Huron Prowlers YouTube channel. But either way, have a great week, Prowlers fans, and enjoy this victory.